Rape, sexual assault, abuse. These are just some of the realities today and in the past. But there is and has been a trend of it occurring by college athletes. Why? For the past semester, I've been researching cases, data, professional opinions, and more, getting an idea of why the trend exists. I believe that there is more that can be done for the women sexually assaulted and raped by college athletes on campuses across the U.S. Though we are far from a solution, we need to start somewhere. This claim aims to assist in a decrease in the number of these cases, but more importantly, a decrease in the number of victims that go through this, a decrease in the number of students that fear for their safety when being on a campus, a decrease in the number of transfers, a decrease in the number of people shamed, a decrease in anything but the number of perpetrators being found guilty. Though brushed under the rug, this is still a well and active trend, even happening on Clemson's campus. Title IX, according to the U.S. Department of Education, states, "No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance." And while universities have a job specific to making sure this statute is enforced, called a Title IX coordinator, these issues still persist. I maintain a drive for my work and research on this subject because of a friend I know that has been going through this and was so sure that nothing would be done for her. From beginning to end, there are many things that have an effect on the occurrences of rape and sexual assault by athletes on college campuses. Studies of these cases surged in the 1990s and have since been low in volume, likely because of the growing industry that is college athletics. After all, which would have a greater impact, losing a high-ranked player on a sports team that brings in revenue, or losing one student and their tuition? It really is a matter of ethics, and often the cases are so unethical, it is shocking. Various changes to the things such as Title IX, supervision, not specifically female ambassadors for recruits, and more emotional education can help. I will guide you through the many processes that have occurred in past cases, other ways they could have gone, and what we can do to change the trend. Let me share some of these stories. In a case at Baylor University, Devin Chafin, a running back, was accused by his girlfriend of assault. One event was him slamming her arm in a car door, another was him picking her up and throwing her on the ground. She told the coaches at Baylor about these events and no investigation was ever made. Chafin was later suspended from the team due to a marijuana charge in Oklahoma. Now, things could have been very different if the coaches made the moral decision to get these cases investigated. Even if the girlfriend had reported it to someone else, there likely would not have been an adequate response either. The coaches dismissed her and were able to ignore her claims. Yet they could not ignore the case with marijuana. While their arms may have been being twisted to suspend Chafin in the end, it seems that the use of a drug is worse than the abuse of a woman. In a case called Simpson v. University of Colorado, CU had a program where female ambassadors were assigned football recruits to show around campus. They also assigned current football players to show the recruits a good time. In this case, Simpson and Gilmore, the two victims, agreed to have another ambassador and 4 football players over to their apartment one evening. Instead, 20 players arrived, some being told they were visiting to have sex. Simpson, intoxicated, went to her room to sleep and woke up to find 2 of the players naked and taking off her clothes. Gilmore was assaulted and Simpson and the other ambassador raped. According to a Sports Illustrated article, the university was notified of these sexual assaults occurring within the recruitment program. Now, this case did go to court where the lack of guidance and supervision of their recruitment program was recognized. Though this case was successful in court, it still happened. 3 girls that supported the recruitment and football programs by working for them fell victim and are still dealing with these events. The university had notice of prior sexual discrimination in that program by a Sports Illustrated article, yet the appropriate steps were not taken. A Title IX coordinator could have changed how those prior claims ended and potentially stopped this assault and rapes from ever occurring. Stop those girls from being victims of a lack of responsibility by those in charge of the program. Let me break it down into statistics as well. A 1993 study of 925 randomly selected women who had been victims of sexual assault, battery, or intimidation found that 22.6% of the perpetrators were athletes, who made up 2% of the student population. Beaver also reported that a 1996 study of 10 college judicial affairs offices over a 3-year period discovered that 35% of the reported cases of sexual assaults or battery involved athletes, who comprised just 3% of the student population. In a 1999 study conducted by the same researcher, greater numbers of student athletes reportedly agreed with 14 rape-supportive myths than did non-student athletes. There were studies that somewhat disproved the trend. In a survey done in 1995 of 20 campus police departments, athletes were no more likely to be arrested for sexual assault than non-athletes. However, the author of the study admitted that many campus sexual assaults are not reported to police departments. But what more can be done to stop this trend? However, it's not just departments and universities that can solve this by improving their Title IX coordinators or rules and regulations regarding consequences for this type of behavior. The perpetrators of these crimes obviously do not understand the consequences others face from their actions. It is an example of the butterfly effect. Their actions cause suffering to the individual directly involved, embarrassment of the university, parents, and friends, time of officials, coaches, the individual, fear from other students, parents, and it goes on. Melnick proposed 5 reasons for this trend. 1. Male bonding. Melnick says group loyalty in all male, small groups is often so strong that sometimes it can override personal integrity. 2. Sports as a masculine proving ground. Male athletes are told to prove their aggressiveness, domination, and toughness by their coaches, teammates, and peers. 3. Combative sports and violence. Being an animal by dominating, beating, and controlling their opponent on the field or court of contact sports is constantly reinforced in their head. This may have an influence on how they treat others, including women, in sexual acts. 4. The athletic justice system. Athletes have a common mindset that the coach will take care of things and that they have a different set of rules. 5. Big man on campus syndrome. As a star on campus, they understand any woman flirting with them as wanting to have sex with them, and due to their accustomed idea of easy sex, they might have difficulty when a woman does not want to. These are not to be taken as excuses, but rather the reasoning behind why these student athletes believe it is okay to commit these crimes. These can be targets used in educational programs to change their mentality towards women. One program called Protect Her, founded by Alexis Jones, aims to redefine manhood, one locker room at a time, according to her website protecther.com. From TED Talks 2017, Jones says, "The problem is the mindset of how these young men are being programmed to think about, to talk about, and to treat women." She continues on to say that she has prepared presentations which show the players, sisters, mothers, girlfriends, any women they love, to remind them that women are human beings too. This powerful message shows them that their actions are more consequential than getting kicked off the team or yelled at by the coach. This trend of sexual assault can affect their loved ones if it is not stopped. These young men need emotional education that imbues self-respect by gaining confidence in other means besides outside recognition. It is no secret that men are also encouraged to hide their emotions. As a Washington Post article points out, male positivity is something behind its times. While female positivity can be found in many places, male positivity is not. Males are called to be manly, and there is a standard for that. Females are expected to be sensitive and vulnerable, and while female positivity is calling for women to adopt more masculine traits, there is no movement telling men to be more vulnerable and emotional. When attempting to find support to help elaborate on this male positivity, there was very limited research or academic article sources. However, I found this. The University of Massachusetts describes it as building close relations and supportive alliances among men in order to support mutual growth and change. Male positivity is also about recognizing and praising the positive aspects of masculinities. There is more to athletics than the sport itself, though. There is family, culture, support, and so much more. I know at Clemson, football is one of the most essential parts of the university. Without the tailgates, the run down the hill, and the culture of the game, we would not be as tight-knit as a community. And not only football, but all athletics have a family-oriented stand. This is why it is so important for any university to improve their response to any type of these allegations and investigate as much as they can. Why would you want any problems disrupting your family? I believe Derek Meador of ThoughtCo summarizes it best. Athletics is powerful because it can bridge gaps, bring people who otherwise might not interact together, and provide opportunities not available elsewhere. All this is to say that there is so much more to the trend of sexual assault, violence, and rape than boys will be boys. Boys will be boys due to how society raises them. The constant reinforcement of power, manliness, and control has a greater effect than we think. Besides this issue, universities need to have consequences for the student-athlete perpetrators, so women are not afraid of being blamed or dismissed. Coaches, Title IX coordinators, and universities in general need to take responsibility as adult figures, mentors, and teachers to instill better morals into their players and stop this trend on campuses.